So we'll wait for another 2-3 minutes for more people to join, and then we'll start the lecture. So let's start with the second lecture of Dev Club. So we'll learn today Git and Bash, which are one of the most important tools used by developers and coders all around the world. So the outline of today's lecture will be like this. First, we'll learn about command line and bash, which are text-based interface to perform tasks quickly. They're kind of language to communicate with the system. Then we'll learn about Git, which is a distributed version control system, and it allows us to manage our project very efficiently and in an organized manner. And then we'll learn about GitHub, which is a hosting service and the most popular one for hosting Git repositories and provides a collaborative environment for developers to work in. And then we'll talk about the task, which will be based upon the things that you'll learn today. So first, let's start with command line and bash. Now there are these two type of interfaces. First is the graphical user interface, which most of you must be familiar with. It is the way we interact with our computer today, using graphical elements like icons, windows, pointers, mouse. And there's another command line interface also. So it was the original way to interact with computers. It is totally text based. So you just have a keyboard and you just type, and in that way you communicate with the system. So it is only text based, and we input commands, and the system will respond based upon those commands. So you can see that it's the graphical user interface present here. So we just make a directory and then store several files inside it. I click on the lecture folder, and then there are several text files. I can open this leg0.txt by clicking on it. So this is the graphical user interface, and there is another command line interface present. So what you can see on the screen is a terminal window. So in this terminal window, we can write certain commands here. So by writing these commands, the system will give us some output and will do some activity. So in that manner, we first navigated to the desktop folder, and then we actually open the leg0.txt in this terminal. So in that way too, we can work with the system. So there are two types of interfaces. Like I just said, this is the command line interface in which we interact using the commands. So let's introduce bash. So what is bash? So bash stands for bound again shell. In simple words, it's just a language that we use to communicate with the system. It's totally text based. So it's a shell which provides us with an environment in which we can run several commands, programs, and scripts. There are different flavors of shells present, just like there are different variety of operating systems. And broadly speaking, there are these two types of shell, a bourne shell and a C-type shell. And the bourne shell comes under the category bash, which we are going to learn today. The bourne again shell comes under the category of bourne shell, which contains POSIX shell also, which is very popular these days. So this was bash. Now you must be having some common questions about bash. So is bash just another programming language like Python, which you're learning in Call 100? It's both a no and yes answer, because bash is a set of commands that we use to interact with the system. And in a way, it's a programming language too, because it lets us create scripts which are like a group of commands. So that means anything which we write manually in the command line can be automated with the help of code. So in that sense, yes, it's a programming language. And then you must be having doubt like, I know Python, I can do things in Python, I can write programs in Python, but Bash is special. So why should I learn Bash? So first of all, the very first reason is you can make your own bots. And by bots, yes, I mean bots. You can automate certain things which are very tedious. Like you can make bots for checking scripts, for checking code. For example, you can make a GitHub bot to check whether the commit was right by the person who has done it. So you can do a lot of things with the help of these bots. Second, it's very fast, efficient, powerful. And third, if you are into this networking, cloud computing, and ethical hacking stuff, then Bash is a must. And the fourth reason is we require no clicks here. So there's no need of a mouse even. You can do all the things on a keyboard by pressing just a bunch of keys and writing commands on the shell. And then another question is, what is the difference between this command line bash and PowerShell? So in Windows, there is a command line and PowerShell present. So you must be having doubt, what is the difference between all these three? What's the thing that makes bash special? Which is the best? So to answer that, it depends on the need of the user. I mean, if you are a networking engineer, a system admin who is working on .NET framework, so in that case, PowerShell will be the best for you. It is more graphical as compared to Bash and command line, but command line and Bash are more text based. And the main difference between them comes on the basis of how they interpret the input and output. So in call 100, you must be having a notion of an object. So PowerShell consider these inputs and outputs as objects, but Bash and command line actually consider them as text, as pure text. And there's another question like Bash is also a language, and SH is also a language. Bash stands for born again, and SH is born shell. So which one should I use? So Bash is, I think, the most popular. It's SH plus more features plus better syntax. So you can also see like this is how Ubuntu terminal look. So you can also see the list of all the shells that are present on your system by writing cat and then etc and shells. So it'll give me all the list of shells that are present on my system. So you can see sh bash is also present, then r bash, then tmux, then screen. So these are all kind of shells that are present on my system. And I can also do one thing. I can also know about uh, where is this language stored in my system. So if I write which bash, it'll give me the path where this language is actually stored in my system. And there is a command called echo, which is analogous to print in Python. So you want to print anything like echo hello, it will just print hello here. So if you want to know which language this terminal is using, you just write echo $0 and it'll give me bash. So I'm actually using bash in this terminal. Now, when you open Ubuntu terminal, it will look like this. So this $sign signifies that we can write commands here. So the terminal is ready to accept any command. But if this $sign was not visible, that would mean that the terminal is still processing some background things. So there are some background processes which are still going on. For the Mac users too, it will look like this. Like if you have a shell bash shell for Mac, it will still look like this. The difference is only in the present working directory. So this is also a command which will print the working directory in which I'm currently in. So it will give me home slash my username. So home slash one. So, but in a Mac, this present working directory will be user slash username instead of home slash username. So this is the pw command, pwd. So this was about shells, what kind of shells are present in my PC. Yeah, in Mac, percentage sign is also there. So I was talking about Windows. So if percentage sign is present instead of $sign, that would also mean that the terminal is ready to accept some commands. So let's come to commands now. Let's talk about some of the basic commands. So I've shown you the pwd command. Pwd command simply prints the working directory in which we are currently in. So where are you writing this? So I'm writing this in Ubuntu. So you just type here Ubuntu and it will show this app which we type the message to install. So I'm typing in this. So basically this is the shell and pwd gives us the current working directory. Now there's also a command called ls. So this is right now my working directory looks like home slash one. So first of all, I want to go into the root directory. So root can be thought of as it is the parent of all parents. So it is the directory from which all other directories branch out from. So first I want to go to that. So in bash, actually this dot presents the current working directory. And this dot present the parent working directory. So first of all, I want to go to the parent of all parents. So I just do cd. Cd is used to change my directory. So change my directory to the parent directory. So if I press this, I'll come to home. So see, first I was in home slash one. Now I'm in home. So I'm one step above. Now I'll again do cd double dot. Now I'm in this weird looking forward slash directory. So if I do pwd here, I'll get the result as forward slash. Now if I do cd double dot, I still remain in this directory. That means we can go up from this directory. So this is the node from where all the directories branch out. So if I do ls here, now ls is a command which will list all the files and the folders present in the current directory. So if I press enter, you will see a bunch of directories which are present here. Yes, this session is recorded, so there's no need to worry. So these are all the folders which are present inside the root folder. So you'll see there's a bin folder present. Bin folder essentially has all the binaries. So these commands are actually written as binaries inside the system. So these are all stored in this bin folder. And then there is also a home folder present. There's lib folder where all the libraries are stored. There's a media folder. There's a root folder. There's an sbin which consists of system binaries. There's a var folder which consists of all the variables that we are using in this command line. There's a temp folder consisting of all the temporary files. So temporary files are basically log files. So once you boot up your computer, all the log files get deleted. Then there are simple these boot files also, which helps our system to boot up. Now, our main goal is to first navigate to the desktop. Let's see the power of a bash, how easily we can navigate. So first of all the directories are present inside, actually all the drives, all the hard drives and all the external drives that are present on your system are actually in this mnt folder. So first we'll change our directory to this mnt. Now if I do ls here, we'll see there are two directories present called c and d. And c and d are the only drives on my PC right now, on my laptop right now. So we know that desktop is present in C users, the name of my laptop slash desktop. So let's go to there. First, I'll go to C, and then I again do an ls here. And ls we see these are all the folders present in C. So I go to users. So I'll go to users, and I'll do ls again here, and I see the name of my laptop here. So I go to there, cdl. Now, if you don't want to write the full name of the directory, you just press tab here. So if I press tab and enter, it will go to that folder. So now we are in this folder called laptop munch, and I'll do an ls here, and we can see the desktop is also present here. Now I change my directory to desktop, press enter and do an ls again. Now I'm in this folder called dev club git bash. This is the folder here, dev club git bash, which is present on the desktop. And I want to come here. So I'll do cd dev and press tab in order to autocomplete. And now I'm in dev club git bash. Now if I do ls here, I get the list of all the files and folders present. You can check also all the files and folders are actually present here. So these were some basic commands. So we have seen pwd, ls, cd. Now it's time for mkdir. So suppose you want to create a directory here uh, named as new new. So what it'll do in this, you just write mkdir new new, and it will create a directory here. You can see our directory is automatically created with the help of this bash. So this is used to create new directories. Now, if you want to create a new file, suppose you want to create a file called assignment.py. So you're just creating a Python file. So I write touch here. Instead of make directory mkdir, you call touch here. So touch assignment.py. So this is a Python file and it will be created here. So this is the Python file. So in this manner, we can create files and folders with the help of mkdir and touch command. So that's done. And now we just see rmdir command. So what this rmdir does is it deletes the directory. So let's just say you want to delete the directory that you just created. So you see that if I do ls again, there is a new directory present and I want to delete it. It's still empty. We haven't made a new file in it. So it's still empty right now. So if I want to delete it, I can just use rmdir. Rmdir new, and it will delete the directory. I'll do again ls, and the directory is no more here. That means my directory is gone. That's why rmdir used. Now, there is another notion of this flag here. So if I write -l ahead of ls, what it will do is it will print all the files and folders in a more decorated format. So it's nice looking. And what this flag does, it induces sort of the functionality of this ls command in a particular direction. So it just makes it look a bit nicer, because you can see in the left, you can see all the permissions. These are the permissions which are associated with the files and folders. For example, this Python file we just created, we can read in it, we can read it, we can write in it, but we cannot execute it. So you see here an X missing, and this X stands for execution. So you can also see one more thing, that my name is present ahead of this. So that means I have created this file. But on other files and folders, you will see the root's name is present. So this signifies that the root has created this. And there's the name and the space that is taking on the disk. So this was this LSL. Now, if I want to actually see what are the hidden files present here, so I'll again use another flag called A to see the hidden files. So these are all the files and the hidden files. So these are not hidden files. So there are no particular hidden files in this folder. But this A is used to actually see the hidden files in this folder. And you can actually combine flags. The main thing of flags is you can combine this. So LSA, LSL, and you can combine this to form different commands. So I can also write LSAL here instead of AL. And this flags here, I mean, there are a lot of flags. So if you open the manual of ls, so this man ls, man means manual. So it will open the manual of this ls command. So it will consist of all the flags that are present, and no one can learn all the flags. So you should remember only the important ones. And you can actually search if you want to uh, know about some particular flag. You can just search on Google instead of reading this. But here's the list of all the flags. So if you're confused about using one flag or another, you can just use it. So there's also one more thing I want to clarify. So if I do ls here, it will list all the files and folders. Now suppose I create a new file called new, and if I do ls again, it'll give me a new here. If I change my directory to new, and if I create a text file there, so touch test.txt file here. And if I do ls here, so it'll give me test.txt because we just created it. And we go to the parent directory again. I do an ls here. So this new folder is not empty now. So to remove this, I can't use this rmdir command. I can use rm command for this. So first use rmdir command, rmdir new. So it'll give me an error because directory is not empty right now. So I cannot remove this directory with the help of rmdir. To remove this directory, I should use rm, which is actually also used to delete files. So if we want to delete, suppose we do ls here again, if I want to delete this assignment.py file, I'll do rm assignment.py. So it'll remove this. So now this file is removed with the help of this command. But if I want to delete a folder which consists of files, I have to add another flag here, rmr. So what this r does, it goes inside the folder, it recurses on all the files and deletes them all in one go. So rmr and then new, and then it would actually delete the new folder. So you can see the new folder is no more here. So this was the basic commands: mkdir, rmdir, cd, touch. Now I'll move to some more commands which are slightly more advanced. For example, there's a cat command present. And this cat command is used to read and write onto a file. For example, here's a file present, go into the lecture. I see there's a lecture 0 present and lec 0 also present. If I open this lecture 0, there are certain lines written here. So if I want to read it using a terminal, what I can do is first off, I'll just change my directory to this lecture folder, cd lecture, and I come here. First of all, I clear everything. And if I do ls here, it'll show me lecture0.txt file. Suppose I want to actually read what's inside the file. I can write cat, left arrowhead, and the name of the file. So lecture0.txt. If I press enter, it'll give me the contents of the file. Now, suppose if I want to write something in this file. To write something in this file, I can use cat with right arrowhead. Now, one right arrowhead would mean that I am overwriting in this file. So that would mean that all the content in this file will be deleted, and the new text which I paste here will actually be added in this file. But if I write double arrows here, that means that content will be appended in this file. So let's append something in this file. So let's append in lecture0.txt, and an editor mode will, the terminal will go on an editor mode. Now I can write stuff in it. For example, I can now append uh, some text inside. Press enter and control C to exit this editor mode. So now if I do cat left arrowhead lecture0.txt, I find this line has been appended into the text. And you can see in the graphical user interface. So if I close this file again, and if I open this lecture0.txt, a new line has been added here. So that's how this cat commands work. Now we'll come to another command called cp or mv. So this cp command is actually used to copy files or folders. And this mv command is used to move files or folders. So suppose I want to copy a file. Let's just do ls here. So cd, I'll go into parent directory and do ls here. So if I do ls, I can see there is a template.cpp present, which is a C++ file. Suppose first I want to know what is written inside the file, so I can do cat template.cpp, and it'll give me what is written inside this file. It'll give me all it's the basic template of a C++ file. Now suppose I want another file called assignment.c++, and I want all the stuff to be in that file. So that I have a basic template of a C++. So I'll do cp, which is the command used to copy something. So I want to copy template.cpp into another file, which I'll call assignment.cpp. Now you'll notice that there is no assignment.cpp currently present in this folder. So what this command will do, it will actually create another file called assignment.cpp, and it will copy the contents into that. So if I press enter now, a new file is created of the name assignment.cpp, and you can see here. So if I go here, I see that there is another file created called assignment.c++. Now if I see the contents of that file using cat command, so cat assignment.cpp, you'll see that it's the same content as that of the template.cpp. So what this cp command has done, it has actually copied the content of this template file and has pasted it in assignment file. So that's how the cp command is used. Now let's actually do a thing. I actually now want to copy this whole folder. So like I said before, in the case of rm also, we cannot just copy a whole folder with the help of just a cp. To that we have to use a flag called r, because it will recurse inside this lecture folder and then copy all the files. cpr lecture and another directory called lecture copy, the lecture copy. So now what it'll do, it'll actually copy all the files present in this lecture folder and it'll paste them into lecture copy folder, which is yet not created. If I press enter and I'll do ls again, you can see a lecture copy folder has been created. Now we can go into this lecture copy folder.
Sorry to interrupt, Vanch. Can you make your screen bigger so people can see, right? No, font size. By
Is it fine now?
yes.
Okay, so if I now go into cd lecture copy, you'll find me, and I'll do an ls here. It'll list all the files that are present now here. So if I now do, you can see the files of lecture have been copied successfully into this lecture copy because all the files are now present inside it. So this is how the cp command works. Now suppose I want to move some contents of one file to another file. So suppose I'll do an ls here again. It'll show me all the files present. Now I want to move the contents of this assignment.cpp into a text file. So what does move mean first? So move means we want to cut all the content present in this and I want to paste it in another file. So for example, I want to move this assignment.cpp into a text file. Let's call it assignment.text. So what it'll do, it'll move the contents of this C++ file into a text file, and that the assignment.cpp will be deleted. So if I press enter here and do again ls here, so you'll see assignment.cpp is deleted and a new file has been created called assignment.txt, which is a text file. And I can also show the content of text file by doing a simple cat command. So assignment.txt. If I press enter, it'll list all things that are present inside. So ls means we are listing all the files and folders inside a particular folder. So if I do ls in this directory, it will list all the files and folders that are present inside this current directory. So this is how we use move command and copy command. So now this is done. And now there's also a command called find. So what this find command does, it helps us to find certain files and folders within the current folder. For example, if I want to find what all files are present in the current folder. So if I simply write find dot, because dot represents the current working directory, all the files. So type and F stand for file. So if I do this and if I run this, it'll give me all the files that are present in the folder and also the subfolder that lies in it. So that's how find is used. So if I also want to find all the directories which are present in my current directory, if I simply write D instead of F and I press enter, so it'll give me the list of all the directories present inside my current working directory. So that's how find works. Now, if suppose I want to find type of file with name, so again a name token, and actually I want to find a file with name lec. Now, ahead of lec, there can be anything. So we are not bothered with what is the extension of this file or what is the full name of this file. I just write lec and star. So that would mean a file or folder starting with lec. But if I have just written an F here, that would mean that we want to find a file whose name starts with lec, but we are not bothered with the remaining names. So I just close it, and if I press enter, it will give me all the files which whose name starts with lec. So lec 0, lec 1, lec 2. I'll get list of all these files. Now you'll notice one thing, that this lecture0.txt also starts with lec, but it is not present in this result. And the reason being that this command actually is case sensitive. So if I write capital LEC, only that file would be given in the output. So in order to remove this case sensitivity, we can use another token. So there are many tokens of lags present and we can use them all around. So find, type, F, I name. So this I means I'm removing the sensitivity from the sentence. So I name and then lec star and then press enter. So it'll give me all the files with whose name start with lec, and it'll also include the lecture0.txt because we have now removed the case sensitivity from here. So in this way, find command works. Now there are more commands. One is grep. So grep command is actually used to search for text inside a file. For example, I go to lecture and then I list all the files there. I go to this, I first will display the contents of this lecture0.txt. I'll find these are the contents of this lecture.txt. Now what I want to do is I want to search for the word name inside this file. So I'll write grep and the word which I want to search for, it's called name, and then the name of the file, lecture0.txt, and I press enter. So it will highlight these words inside my file. So this is the line in which name is present. It is the line in which name is present. Now I also want the line numbers ahead of that. So I write another token here. So I can use the token n here to actually use name lecture.txt. So it will give me all the line numbers. So for example, name is present in first line, name is present in third line, name is also present in fifth line. So that's how tokens can be used. And there's another token. For example, you can notice that here n is capitalized. So in order to remove this case sensitivity, we can again use an I token here. So grep n I name and then lecture0.txt. If I press enter, it will give me all the names which are present. So name, capital NAME. So it will give the list of all these. Now there are many more tokens and you can find the list of all these tokens in the men file of this grep. So it'll open the manual. You can read the manual and know about the tokens. There are a whole lot of tokens present. So this was about grep. And then I've shown you echo before. So echo is just analogous to print statement in Python. So if I want to echo something like hello, it'll give me just, it'll print the command in there. Then there is a curl command. So this curl command is actually very useful. So you are actually very familiar with the inspect page option now, as you have attended the first lecture of the series. So in the same manner, if I want to actually render the whole HTML content and JavaScript in this command line, I can use the curl command. So if I want to curl, example, google.com. So it has moved to this. If I copy this right here and then curl it again, press enter. So it will actually bring all the HTML and the JavaScript which is present on google.com. So this is why the curl command is used. Now instead of this curl command, you can also use wget command. Let's clear the screen once again. And wget and the same stuff. So what it will do, it will create an index.html file and it will save it in my directory. So it is first downloading all the HTML content and JavaScript content, and then it will paste it inside this folder in which we have applied this. So we'll see an index.html is present. So if I open this, you can see the google.com basic template is shown here. So it will contain all the basic commands. So it will contain information about all the elements present here. I can also see the page source. So it will contain all the HTML and JavaScript code that is present. So wget command can be used for that too. Now we can come to another command called actually curl command can also be used to download something. For example, I want to download this courses of study. So I just copy it. I go to my terminal again. I write curl. Let's first go to the parent directory. I write curl hyphen capital O and I paste the link here. If I press enter, downloading will start. And you can see if I go to dev club git bash, the course of studies has been downloaded successfully. So that's why curl command is also very useful. Now we'll move to this also read command, which is used as input command. So in Python, as there is an input command in the same manner, there's a read command in bash and the sudo apt install command to install certain packages. For example, uh, I can show you. So suppose I want to zip this folder, lecture. So first I'll write zip, the name of the file I want to convert in it. So lec.zip and the name of the folder. So if I press enter, it gives me an error because the zip package is not available here inside my Linux binaries. So first of all, I have to download this zip package. To download it, I do sudo apt get install and the name of the package. So zip. And if I press enter, it asks for my password. I press enter again, it will actually download all the packages and the zip package and all the binaries present in the package. So it'll take some time and it'll download all the things inside it. Now we'll let this package download and I'll tell you about this read command. So this read command is simply used as an input command. I can write read and we can give the name of a variable. So zip is actually downloaded. So we can actually use zip now. So zip leg.zip and lecture. If I press enter, if I check my directory again, lecture folder has been zipped successfully. So this is how zip can be used. And about the read command, I can do read and I can name a variable called, let's just say, read tech. And if I press enter, editor mode opens up. I write the name of tech. So bash, press enter. If I now want to print this, so echo $tech, it'll give me what was stored inside this tech. So in order to access any variable, we have to use this dollar sign before it. So if I use this dollar sign before tech and print it, it'll give me what was stored inside this variable. The bash was stored inside this variable and it'll print it. So now that was for all the commands of bash. Now the main thing, as I said, that bash can be used to make bots. In order to make bots, you first have to create a file and you have to put all the code inside there. So as you can see that there is a script file present here which I've made. So what this script file is, it will contain all the code which we need to automate a certain process. So in this command line, we have typed certain commands. But for just like if I want to print hello again and again for 20 times, I should not write echo hello 20 times in the command line. Rather than I'll just use a for loop inside the bash file and write echo hello there and it'll print the hello 20 times. So to create a script first of all, we'll do touch and then the name of the file. So intro.sh, and it'll create a script file. So if I do ls again here, we can see that a script file is created here, intro.sh. But right now, it doesn't has any permissions for writing. So if I do lsl here, you will see that x is not associated with this intro.sh. So first I'll give it an x using chmod command. So now it has like now it has executable permissions. Now what I can do is I can open VS Code here. So to just open VS Code in any terminal, you have to just write code and dot. So this is also a very nice thing about this terminal. We can integrate VS Code easily with it. So code and dot, and it will open VS Code for us in this directory. So as you can see, my VS Code is opened up, and it consists of the script file and also the intro.sh file which we created. So in the script file, both these files are same, but this file consists of this first line here. What this first line signifies is this is called shebang in script file. So we write the path of the language which we are using inside. So for example, if I'm writing the script in bash language, I just give the path of the bash, and I showed in the beginning of the lecture how path can be shaped. So if I want to know what is the path of bash, I write which bash and it'll give me the path of the bash here. So I can just write a for loop here. So for I equals to 0 and I less than 5, I plus plus. I just want to echo hello. I just want to echo hello. And I'll save this. So then I run it and using simply calling its file name. So script.sh, if I press enter, 5 times hello will be printed on the screen. So all those commands that we have learned today can easily be written in this script.sh file using the code we have, commands we have learned, and a block of code can be prepared using which certain processes can be automated. So that's one of the reason why bash is used. So you can also integrate some type of scraping inside, and you can create some website bots too. There are also while loops present inside here. You can also do arithmetic. There are a whole lot of stuff that you can do with bash, and you should explore more of the commands by yourself. I think that was enough for the bash lecture. Now we can move to another important portion called Git, which is a version control system, and for which Rajat will be explaining things.
Okay, so my screen is visible, right?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So now we will be learning about Git. So first of all, what is Git? Now Git is an open source distributed version control system. So we will go step by step. Right, control system. This basically means that Git is a content tracker. So Git can be used to store content, and it is mostly used to store code due to other various other features that it provides, right? And it is a version control system. So the code which is stored in Git keeps changing as more code is added, and many developers can add code in parallel. So it essentially helps in maintaining a history of what changes have happened. So, is my voice okay now?
Actually, Rajat, can you increase your voice?
Now, how's the voice?
Yeah, I think it's fine now.
Okay. So, and what do you mean by distributed version control system is that Git has a remote repository which is stored in a server and a local repository which is stored in the computer of each developer. This means that the code is not just stored in a central server, but the full copy of the code is present in all of the developers' computer, which makes it easy to work on the same code base uh, on the same project. Okay. Now the general structure of a local Git repository is as follows, right? It consists of trees maintained by Git. First one is your working directory, which holds the actual files. That is the directory stores all the files which you work on and you make the changes. The second one is the index, which we also call as a staging area. And then finally, we have the head, which points to the latest commit which we make in the working directory. So this is the Git pipeline. First step of the Git pipeline is making the changes. Now there are untracked changes that we make in the working directory, which means that they have not been staged yet. So this takes us to the next step, which is staging those changes. So when we make some changes to the files, we need to stage those changes in order to commit them. Now the third step, which is committing those changes, what it does is the changes get logged and entered into the history of the local repository. Okay, so we can keep a track of all the changes that we made from the very first commit, and then we can push the changes into the hosted remote repository, for example on GitHub using the git push command, which we'll learn further. Now we have our very first command, which is git status. So it is a simple command. It gives us the status of the files. For example, as you can see in the screenshot, we made a new file, capital abc.txt, right? And then we type git status. So we get changes not staged for commit. So which means that we have not added this change, that is the creation of a new file, to the staging area, and therefore we get this information in red color. So how to add those changes? So we can add these changes by the git add command. So if you want a specific file, you can use git add file name. And if you want to add all the changes at once, uh, uh, am I audible, right?
It's
Or is
your
the voice
audible.
coming on? Okay,
No,
okay.
it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. But let us say I created 10 files. Now I can't keep writing git add first.txt, git add second.txt. So I'll just write git add space dot. So it will add all the changes at once to the staging area. Okay. Now as we can see, I wrote git add abc.txt and then I ran git status. So now you can see it says changes to be committed. Earlier it said changes not staged for commit. So now this change has been staged, but it has not been committed yet. Therefore, it shows it in green color. So for commit, we use git. We use the following command: git commit -m and then the commit message. Now, what is the commit message? Now, commit message should ideally tell people about the change that you have committed. It should give a short description. For example, if you fixed a bug, then your message should be something like fixed XYZ bug. Okay. Now, now let me demonstrate you about all the commands that we have learned in this slide so far. So I've created a directory git demo. Right? Now, if I run git status, it will show me an error. Fatal error, not a git repository, because we have not initialized our repository yet. So to do that, we run git init. What does M? M stands for message. So we write -m and then we write our message. So we write git init, initialized empty git repository. So now, as you can see in blue color, this is the branch. We'll learn more about it in further slides. So we are now in our git repository, right? And let me write a command. I will explain it later. Git branch means, so what I'm doing is I'm changing the master branch to a main branch. I will explain it later. Okay. So let us create a new file, first.txt. Now if I run git status, it says untracked files first.txt. So I will add this to commit. Git add first.txt. And now I run git status. So it says new file first.txt. So we have staged it. Now we have to commit this. So I run git commit message and then added a new file. Added a new file first.txt. So here you can see this is the same message that we typed here. Add a new file first.txt, and now if I run git status, you can see on branch main nothing to commit, work tree clean. So we have no changes in the staging area because we have committed those changes. So our working tree is clean, right? Now what if we do not want to use the command git add again and again? For example, I make some changes to this file. Okay, I write if right random. Uh, so now I can use this command git commit -a. What this does is it skips the git add command, or it skips the changes to the staging area and directly commits them, right? So now I write modified first.txt. It says one insertions, okay, and now it has committed those changes directly without having to use the git add command, right? Now we have one more command. Let's just say by mistake you made an error. You wrote some random things, and for example, you were coding a site and you broke the site. You wrote some wrong code and you want to go back to the original commit. So for that, use git checkout and then double hyphen space and then the file name. And now if I open, you can see we are back to our previous commit. It rollbacks us to the previous commit or to the latest commit because we did not commit this change. When I changed the contents of first.txt, I did not commit those changes. That's why I was able to roll back to the latest commit. Okay. Now, before moving to this slide, to pushing the changes to the remote repository on the GitHub, we will have to create a remote repository. So for that, I go to GitHub, create new repository. I create a git demo. Okay. And I create a repository. Okay. So there are many options. Now we'll choose this option because we have already initialized a repository on the command line, but we haven't not pushed it yet. Okay. So I'll use this command git remote add origin. Okay. Now if I type git push u origin main. So now our repository, local repository, is connected to the remote repository on GitHub. So if I reload this page, you can see our first.txt here. This is the power of Git, which makes it easy to collaborate with other team members. Okay. So here you can see it is written git push origin master. So it is just the branch that we use. Okay, we had a main branch. That is why we used uh, the main command. Okay. Now we learn how to work with branches. Okay. So what are branches? A branch is a version of the repository that diverges from the main working project, meaning that we can create different branches in the same repository to add new features or to fix bugs. Okay, so so we have our next command, which is git switch. So git switch -c and develop. When I write this command, it creates a new branch develop, and uh, it creates a new branch develop and switches to this to the develop branch. Okay, so let me demonstrate it. I will first of all clear the screen. I create git switch c develop. Now if I type git branch, it will list all the branches. Okay, it has a develop branch, it's the main branch, right? And if I want to switch back to the main branch, I can write git switch main. So now we are in main branch. But what what is the main objective of branches? Okay, so for example, I switch again to the develop branch. Now if I type ls, it will list all the files that we have. So we have first.txt. Now let us create a new file, touch second.txt, and I will commit this. Git add, git commit, added, new file, second.txt, .txt. Okay, now let me type ls. It has first.txt and it has second.txt. Now just pay attention. When I switch to the main branch and then I type ls, we only have first.txt. We don't have any second.txt. So this is the use of branches. We are in the same repository, but we have the different versions of the repository to work upon. And now, what if I wanted the changes of the develop branch to be reflected in the main branch? Like I fixed some code, I made a new branch from the main branch. I fixed some code, and then I wanted to merge those changes to the main branch. For that, I'll use git merge develop. So when we want to merge into the main branch, you have to be in that current working branch, and the branch which you have to merge, that you have to write in front of merge, right? Okay, so now if I click, oh, if I type ls, I can see we have second.txt. This is the git merge. So this is the git merge command. It merges the branch with the new commit and the same commit history. Okay, commit history is the log of all the commits that you make. Now let us come to GitHub, right? So GitHub is a hosting service for Git where the remote repositories can be stored, and it lets you and others work together on the same project from anywhere, right? As I demonstrated here, the remote repository. Your friends can also make changes and then you can download them and work on them as well. So till now, we were talking about pushing the changes. What if we want to download the changes that were made by our teammates? So for that, we have a simple command. We just do git pull. Like you can see, here is Alice, here is Bob. So uh, Alice makes some changes. It commits and then pushes to the GitHub, to the remote repository. So Bob wants to work on those changes. Then he can just type git pull, and all the changes will come to his working directory. Okay. So this was all about the Git and GitHub. Let me tell you about few more commands. Like here, if I list the branches, okay, now I don't need develop anymore. I merged the branch into main. All my code is complete. Now I want to delete it. So for that, I type git branch, capital D, and then the branch name. And now if I type git branch, it will just tell me. So the branch is deleted because this is the size. Okay. So this was all from my side. Shubham sir will tell about the assignment which will which you will be doing. Yes, and stop.
I think we should first take some questions. So, somebody has questions. So, can you please raise your hands? Hello. Wait. Let me allow. So you can speak now. You can. Hello.
Santosh, first of all, the Git bash is just bash shell. So Git is a version control system which is used to manage the changes at different stages of our repository. But bash is a shell. Bash is a language which we use to communicate with the terminal. So Git bash is just a bash shell. And Ubuntu is also just a terminal. Like it's a Unix terminal. So it's a Unix shell. So it's a Ubuntu shell. So you can also work on Kali Linux. So basically these are all types of terminal an operating system that we use, but the language inside them is common. It's Bash. So Bash is a language, but Git is a version control system. I think that answers your question.
Okay. Somebody is asking how to pull. So you have a push command. So it is similar. So you can write git pull origin and main branch. So it will pull it from main branch. Okay. The next question is, can bash language be used in git and bash install manual command? So actually the git bash uses some kind of other kind of bash, so it is not exactly the bash. It is not using bash. So
Some commands will not be working in that. Some
mm,
Bash commands. It's another type of
Um,
shell, but it's very similar to Bash.
it's a terminal for Git, and you can use this run the same commands on VS Code as well and on PowerShell as well.
so there
But
is
Git is
something.
stronger in this.
So in for Windows user, there is something called now WSL. So people use it. People are now using it. So it is a it is a Linux subsystem for Windows. So you can use Linux command there only. So yes, you can use. Okay. So when we will write git command, we are using git bash. Yes.
You can also write command in the Ubuntu terminal. In the Ubuntu WSL, you can write all the Git commands there too.
So I'm not sure how to upload code of first assignment on GitHub. Can you demonstrate? Okay. I think I can. Just wait. So wait. This is your assignment actually. Um, so I should show you from starting. So this is the assignment. So you can do this. And yes, you will get the PPT. Um, mm, already. actually do that. Okay. Let me do it here. So you can do get bash here. So you have to write. Can you see it now? You can see it now.
Yes, yes, you
Look.
can see.
Yes, yes.
So you have to write git clone. So for pasting instruction, for pasting the copy code and these things, so you have to press shift insert. Yes, yes, it will be uploaded. So you have to like this and you have to clone it. Okay, so I will be giving you, so you have to do cd. So there's a something, so there's a trick. So if you press tab here, it will auto complete it. So so you have to write for code for opening VS Code. So I have a code VS Code Insider version. So I have to write code insider. Then you can go ahead there. And then yes, yes, you can use same shell. You can even use PowerShell. Show you it. So wait. Let me show you. So if you write git, it will show it. So you can write git status here too, and it will work as intended. So you have to do this. So there is something like this. So there's a freshers and this like, okay, so you have to do like this. So I'm just copying here. See, bring it quickly. So you have to copy. Oh, not copy. So now you can do like this. So 143, 44. You can do like this. My name. You have to do like this. So you have to paste your image and so wait, sorry. What is the difference between sudo and sudo ATP? So there is some in sudo is for you want add run and so there is something called run as admin. So it will run as admin. So if you do this, so it will force key do this as admin. So some commands have uh, admin only permission, so you can use it as admin for security reasons only. So let me duplicate it. So like मैं करना you admin is a super user kind of thing. So you can do like this. So you have to matlab give your credential like this, and you have to paste a photo and in asset folder. So there is a public folder and there is a asset. So there's a card image, PNG. So you have to paste your image like this यहाँ पर and give this matlab reference there. Here, okay. And then you have done this, so you can do this like this. Uh, so let me show you. Get status. So in get status, there is a showing the I have something change in source fresher. So I will do git add and then git commit /m uh, some added profile. So if I do this and it will matlab 20 shot, so it will tell what have been done. So let me do this. So git push origin main. Let me do this and it will not work actually because I have done okay, it has happened. So let me do this. So if I do go so there's the matlab, assignment. So I have you have to do what you have to do is you have to first fork it. So you have to click it and you have to fork here. So I have multiple matlab, you will not see this. So it will show like this. So it will so so what you have to do? So you have to clone from this there and oh, you haven't told git remote. So sometime what happens? So if I matlab, if I do something else, so repository sometimes changes. So if I have to, so sometimes we have to matlab, do something and you have to matlab, change your repository name. So it will not work. So I am saying no, this will not work, but this work. I don't know. I have done something earlier. So they have been show you have been shown an error. So because I have transferred this repository to somewhere, so you have to do so git remote remove origin. Okay, so now if I do it like this, and now it will not work anything. Git and bit and bash language used in Git and Git. So wait. Let me show you the error. Git command post error changes. So now you will try this. So if I try git push origin main, now it will not push. So there is a error fitted original does not appear to git repository. So I have to do this. So git remote add origin, then this, and now I will do this. Now it will work. So you can do something like git remote. So now it will work. So let me show you something. Wait, it's done. Is it is done? So it is one hit. So I have to do what I have to do. Pull request. So you have to do new pull request, and now I have to. You have to open like this. So you will also open a pull request here. So to the base repository from my repository. Then I have done some changes. Then you will do like this. So create force error change. Yes, no. Add it profile. Then I will leave every link. Then I will just create a pull request. Wait, now label should work. So it will it has been done. So I have done. So you will not see this thing. So I have some so I have done I have done so pull request. So I have created a pull request and I will now merge it. So you will see you will see only this. So this thing. So you will not see merge pull request because I have the power. So I will do this. So it will now merge from my side and let me show you. So there are also pull request open from Rajat. So he is explaining your Git. So I have done this. So I have asked him to do this. So it will so now let me show you. Wait, it's actually building right now. So this is called this is something known as workflow. So this is quite advanced. So you will not need to know. So right now. So so it is compiling, so you can ask me some questions till now. Hello.
ये कोई बच्चा है
Okay. So git remote is something like this. So kind of matlab, key reference. So if I write git, if I write matlab, git push or git pull origin. So what do you mean by origin here? So it will matlab, point to a link. So I can write something from other origin. So not origin. So I can write something like XYZ. So you will now write git push XYZ origin. Git or XYZ main like this. So it has been done actually. Wait. You can go there. So you will show like this. So it is there, and you can show if you do, and you will open some pull request. We will merge it, and this is co- this is this will be a part of your assignment. And there's another thing. Wait. Um, and you can do like this. So you have another part of your assignment. So you have been told about git checkout. So I will just skip it. So what I'm going to do, um, happen here. So there's another branch called PyCode in this. So you have to do matlab, something else here. Can you wait a second? Let me see the questions. Um, So you have to do this. So mm, okay, so just current we have to matlab, do matlab, like this. So if we matlab, you have to create a fork first, and then you have to matlab, uh, if you create the fork, and then you will clone this local fork, and then you will do the changes, and then push to the fork, and then create a PR to the main repository, which will be matlab, merge it. So it will be given in assignment in detail. So I am showing you some demo only. So you can do that. You now. So you have been told about checkout. So so VS Code, it is kind of easy. So you can do this. It will be shared matlab, at night. So I will not share it right now. So will require this time to your report. Yes. Then push to your local repo, but use a fork. So don't directly matlab, clone your matlab, dev club repo. So you have to change your origin that I am doing. So so you have to do like this. So you first start doing. So what I am doing. So I am doing some name and about. So show go back. So first you have to do like this. So go to source and then go to freshers, and then there's something like this. So there's entry number, name, image you want, what you want to do, branch, and about, and then contact. So contact will be like this: ID, type, and URL. So there are 4 types of GitHub: Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. It will, this is some kind of template. So origin will be automatically linked. So when you clone, so it will, if you write clone, so it git automatically takes care of what is your origin. So it is not big issue. So you can do it simply. So you have to do like this. So you have to add entries in this, and you have to submit a pull request. We will merge it and we will evaluate on this. So what can you do? And then you have to switch your branch to PyCode. So see this. So I have done something different. So there is no web page code now. So there is something called test. So you have to put like this format. So your GitHub username underscore test dot py. So does everyone know Python here? Okay. Um, but just beginner. So I haven't tried anything. So what you have to do? So you have to create your GitHub username underscore test dot py, a new file like this. So GitHub username underscore test dot py, like this, and then you have to write something. So let me write and then I will write assert 2 plus 1 double equal to 3. Yes, you are doing this in PyCode branch. So you can do this. So you can create multiple tests. So I will say create some, this will be a creative part. So you can do what you want to do. So what we are using is a PyTest library. So PyTest. So there's so it is there. So you can show and you can write some test. How many you have to. So in this file, only in this file you can write. So you will write, and then as usual git add dot git commit added first. Okay. Oh, then you can do like this, and then git push origin, then not mean, you will write PyCode. So M is a flag for telling your next, after space, whatever I am writing, it is a message. So now you can do this. So now it is done. So you can, I have created something for you. Let me open my. So there is something called PyCode branch, and then now it is ahead and pull request. So I am again showing you can go here. There's a button called new pull request. Oh, PyCode, not main, PyCode. So you have to merge PyCode with PyCode, and then I will. I have written this, so I will create a pull request. Python test. Edition test. Okay, then I will create a pull request. No, you haven't. You don't have to necessarily learn Python. So you need only basic knowledge of Python only. So like this, so it will add label and then I can show. So it is running test. So you can see if your code fails sometimes. So I just used to if you know Python well, so you can write some complex tests. I have no issues. So but write it like this. So I have shown you GitHub username underscore test. If you don't write underscore test, it will not find the test and it will not run. So you can see here. So all checks has passed. So you can see by this. So if this is not passing, then understand there's thing problem. No. So there are two tasks. So one task is for editing your freshers.js file and adding a photo, and then another task is for changing branch, and you have to learn sometimes of changing branch and like this. So for that I did a simple Python test. You can just copy something, you can do multiplication, just basic. So you can see my code. It is public here, so everyone can see everyone's code. So it will not be issue. So you don't necessarily have to add FB or Insta account. So if you have no account, you can remove it. So I will not. So somebody is asking now, so how will you upload? So what can you do? So you will create a new repository on GitHub, and then you can do this and you can push it. What is the deadline? So I haven't think of that. So oh yes, I will give it assignment. So don't worry. So I will give an assignment proper statement. It will be circulated and you will get it. So I will tell you, don't worry for instructions. That's some basic I will tell you, and then you will. Let me share it. So want to share something with. So anyone has any question left? So I will. So you can ask me from the lecture also. So if you have any problem, so specific command you have to ask again. So you can ask me again. Uh, how is how is Linux better than Windows? So Linux and Windows have their pros and cons, but most of I am taking only questions. So can you wait a minute? I will give you a feedback form, then you can make it. If we write a then pull request, yes, it will not pass the So Rajat has shared a Google form and please fill it. So why are we using command prompt? So command prompt has some. Uh, so in command prompt you can't use sudo and apt instructions. So they are something else. So they are kind of. So you can use lscd there also. So I can show you this. Share it again. So you can see this. Then you can do anything. So you can do cd dot ls minus lsa. So you can do so there is something difference. So what then you can do cd git, you can do tab and then you can enter. Yes, so you can this WSL for use for advanced, so very advanced things. So you don't need so PowerShell will also work actually most of the time. So you will not need anything. Uh, yes, so there is something. So there is feedback form. Please fill it. Uh, please fill it now so I can. Oh, and you can ask me questions though. Yes, you can leave now. Can you stop recording? So hello.